Hey, everybody. My name's Roxanne Davenport. I'm going to be interviewing Amber Echerd tonight. And I just froze.
Hi.
I'm going to be interviewing Amber, and she is the vice president of the Epilepsy Association of North Carolina. So say hello to Amber tonight.
Hi,
Hey,
everyone.
how are you?
I'm fine. How about you?
I'm okay. Thank you. And wanted to about how you got involved with the Epilepsy Association, because I know that you had come to one of the fundraisers. Is that right?
I did. It was a few years ago. There was an event that was held at Paul's Chapel, and I went there, set up actually as a vendor, was introduced to Tony, who was the president, and we got to talking a little bit. And I had told him that I have a son who suffers from seizures himself. So Tony asked me what county I was living in. I said Randolph County, and he told me that he was really needing somebody to help out with the Randolph County. And the first thing words out of my mouth was, "Where do I start at?" And so I've been with them ever since, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, that's because being there too and talking with y'all is does wonderful things for the county. So thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
So, um, what brought you into wanting to help with the Epilepsy Association?
So I have a son. His name is Jesse, and he actually has seizures. He experienced his first seizure when he was just a couple of weeks old. I remember it like it was yesterday. Um, the most scariest thing in my life. Going down the road, he went from making, little noises like newborns do, to so he just stopped. And it was like this eerie dead silence. So realizing that he was actually having a seizure and trying to educate myself on what seizures were because I'd never heard of them and I'd never known anybody in my family to have them. So, as a parent, you're learning something about your child, you automatically try to educate yourself. Well, the problem I ran into is trying to get information. There was none. I got sent
Yeah.
to a neurologist, but that neurologist had no information, no pamphlets or anything that could sit there and start to answer a little bit of my questions. Then you ran into doctors trying to rush, so you couldn't really get your questions all in because you
Mhm.
try to fit so much in a short amount of time and you have so many questions and you're just not getting answers. So that's one of the reasons why I knew that I wanted to help other parents because I didn't want them to feel the feeling of being helpless as a parent. You feel helpless because you don't know what to do. And so when your child is suffering, we're helpless because as a parent, we're always supposed to know what to do for our child, what to make it better. But I didn't because I was completely out of my element and didn't know anything. So
Um, Yeah,
I had,
that, well, I was going to say, y- usually we find out more from other parents than we do from the doctors. And
yes,
well, I'm the one with the epilepsies, and I say thank you for that because I don't know what I would do with a child with it. So that's what I say. But I know that y'all say, and me talking with y'all too, we just discuss new things that have come about, or like I didn't even know about SUDEP when I was
y-
could have had them. You know, I mean, you don't get told much. to
No,
start off with.
I was never told about that with my son. I was never told that he could have a seizure and he could stop breathing or he could go into cardiac arrest. Nobody never told me this. The doctors made it sound like it's a simple thing, something that was like one or two occurrences and you wouldn't have to worry about it ever again. But what I found out is as he got older, that was not the case because he went from having one type of seizure to by the time he was 16, he ended up having three different types of seizures, and you never knew which one was going to hit. So, yeah, it was
Mm.
very scary. And if it wouldn't have been for me meeting Tony Kincaid, then I would have been completely lost. I probably still wouldn't have found out about it unless something seriously had happened to my son. And unfortunately, by the time he was in middle school, he did end up having a really bad seizure to the point where he was not getting enough oxygen. And to the point when the EMS got there, they're trying to give him oxygen while he's in the middle of a seizure. And he became very combative with them. And he didn't even know what he was even doing at that time. So, yeah, those things would I was glad that I had knew about them ahead of time because if it would have been the first time ever hearing about it and he went through that, I probably would have freaked out. I would have freaked out. There is no probably.
Eh,
I would have, yeah. But
yeah,
it's
and
scary.
not to mention the school, if they hadn't have known, because
Yeah.
and then still,
And
um, go ahead.
that brought up another issue because not only was there any information from the doctors, you have a child who has a disability, who has a serious medical condition, putting them into a school setting where the teacher's like, I have never even heard, well, we've heard of seizures, but we don't know what to do. And it was like, wow, I'm supposed to send my child to a school where they're supposed to be safe. And then here I am thinking, they're not really safe because y'all are not equipped or trained to deal with this. So if he has a seizure, oh man, now what? Because now I've got to take it upon myself to try to educate the teachers. And that's not always an easy thing to do either. So, yeah,
Yeah, well, that's what you're doing though
yes,
now, throughout the county and or trying.
yes,
So, and you've come up with some ideas to help spread through the county,
yes,
starting first, and then hopefully all the counties will fight against, saying we'll do it ourselves, not waiting for Raleigh to drag their feet
yes.
with the General Assembly like
We've
we
gotten
have.
through the we got through the first phase. So now it's get to the second phase, which is where it's been shut down in the past. But we're really hopeful this time that we've actually got a little bit more movement forward than we have any of the other years. So we're excited. We're not going to stop fighting no matter what. We're going to keep fighting because we've lost way too many of our children. And it's not just kids because what we found out, it doesn't matter what age you are. You can have just
No,
that one seizure and your heart stops or you're not breathing and people around you not knowing what to do. It could take you that quick. And so we want to stop that as much as possible.
exactly. Yes, I definitely agree because how many letters have we written and how many people have we called or emailed? It
Very true.
People just, yeah, it's
Yeah.
surprising.
Oh,
And
yes.
me myself, um, at my at a school that I go to quite often with someone, asked 4 teachers if they knew what to do, and only 1 knew.
Oh, wow. We had zero. So at least you have one. We had zero.
Yeah, it's not hard to learn, and
No.
even maybe to have instructions on the wall.
Yes. So that's another thing that we are trying to do. We have seizure first aid posters that we pay to get printed off. We pay for it out of our pocket because we are a nonprofit organization. So we don't have the big fancy sponsors who can pay for our stuff to be printed off. We hold events and fundraisers and stuff to earn money just so we can have stuff printed off so we can go inside the schools, daycares, churches, anywheres where anybody could be that's going to have a seizure. Inside restaurants, all because you never know when it's going to
Right.
happen, and there's so many different things that can trigger a seizure. So it's not just, do you have epilepsy? No. Somebody who has extremely high blood sugar or extremely low can cause them to have a seizure. Somebody who didn't eat all day or didn't have enough fluids. Those things can trigger it. So we go and we pay for these things, we get them printed off. We have our own seizure first aid poster now that we've created ourselves, that we are now putting inside the schools and restaurants, anywhere where they say, yes, we'll support it and put one up. Great. We want to put it in there for you because it tells you exactly what to do, step for step. So that way we don't have people going, we didn't know what to do. Wanted to help, but we didn't know what to do. This way
Yeah.
they have something, a great little guideline. We even come down to the smallest little cards that tell you step for step what to do, and you can keep it in your wallet or your pocketbook. So we are trying. That's the whole thing. The more people we can educate, the better off we're going to be.
Um, amen. Eh, Everybody, every little bit helps.
Yes, that it does.
So let's see, you have already talked to some people, to some groups.
Hmm.
So you're working your own way up about getting the word out to communities that, like, what, a church, or where was it the last time you spoke?
I just did an interview for a news station in South Carolina, and
Oh, that's right.
yeah, and then I just got informed Thursday I will be interviewing with Fox 8. So I'm looking forward to that one Thursday afternoon. So
That you were going to be like a movie star or something next, maybe.
if it takes that to spread the awareness, I will do whatever it takes.
That's great. Thank you. And well, if they go to any of our little Facebook sites, the website, they will be able to see what you've done online and in the communities. They
Yeah.
can see the interview. I mean, you really brought it to their attention that
Well, thank you.
it's it's little kids, you know.
Yes.
They they need to, people have it in their heart, not just to step over a person having one, you know,
Yes.
or just push them aside or something.
Yes. And unfortunately, we see that a lot. We have we see videos all the time where someone who
And the teachers, I, I'm sorry, everyone.
I think you're
No.
good now.
Am I good now? Are we
Yes,
sure?
you're good.
This, yeah, it's been windy today, but you didn't think it would do this to the internet here. I've never had it happen.
Oh,
Well, to get back to that, to get back to, I don't know if the people heard me say you shouldn't step over someone or move them aside. That way you
yes.
know what to do. And you telling the cameras about, I will just talk while I'm frozen. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Hopefully everybody else can too. And I will just keep talking and look at my my face in that stupid way that it's
You're
shaped. But
beautiful,
well,
so we
anyway.
don't mind.
Oh, well, thank you. But yeah, talking to the TV shows now, the news, people watching
Yes.
the news, they'll know it finally. Then that is
Yes.
definitely finally.
See, the Epilepsy Association of North Carolina, as just one big group, it takes all of us to work. It can't just be one or two people. It's going to take all of us, and we've got a really good board that is working. We're working really hard for this Sam Rose Davis bill. Um, and her story really struck with me more because she was my son's age when she passed away. So when I heard her story, the first thing that I thought about was, wow, that could have been my son. That could still be my son one of these days. And it was
Mhm.
heartbreaking to know that with the proper training, I believe she would have had a better chance at surviving. But because people didn't know what to do, there was a lot of critical minutes that were wasted with everybody running around. What do we do? What do we do? So
Mhm.
that's the reason why, to me, that becomes another that's just tugs at your heartstrings because I've went through those moments where you're like, oh man. And as a parent, when your child has a seizure, we stop breathing too. We don't breathe until our child is out of that seizure and we know that they're okay. That's when we take our big deep breaths going, okay, we made it through this one. But in the back of our mind, we're always thinking,
Yeah.
will the next one, would he come out of it? Or will I lose my child to this really horrible disease that just what we're now realizing is a silent killer? It's killing more and more people, but more and more people don't know nothing about it. And it's really sad and it's a tragedy. And yeah, I really
It
felt
is.
for her family. So that even made me want to fight just a little bit harder because as a parent, I don't want other parents to ever have to go through that again. And unfortunately, we're always going to have that because there is no cure. And we went through those stages in history where they completely just like, you don't talk about it, it don't exist. And if they did find out that you had seizures, you were treated differently. They didn't want nothing to do with you. So in a sense, yes, we came over some barriers, but we're still locked in that time. But we still need to go across other barriers and move on and keep up with the times.
Yeah. Um, Sometimes it seems like we take two steps forward and one step back.
Thank you.
It it feels that way a lot,
Yes,
really. Unfortunately, but hopefully we won't take one step back with getting our law, Sam's
we
Samantha Rose, her law
yes,
passed. So
yes,
for seizure first aid, it's really needed.
it
And
is. And for thankfully we've got two pretty good, strong supporters. Keith Kidwell and
mhm.
then John Hollister. Two thumbs up to those guys because they have been pushing and pushing this law. They are the reason why we've gotten through the first phase, and they're going to continue to push it. And hopefully, with those two guys being behind us as our number one supporters, we can keep pushing this bill forward and we get it passed and get it into law all over North Carolina because in the end, we want to see all the states carry a law that is about
Mhm.
seizure first aid. And the cool thing about the bill is it's not just focused on seizures. It's focusing on a lot of broader things, health wise. So we're very grateful to those two guys for really supporting us and standing up for us.
Yeah. I can think of one that really needs pushing,
But
right now.
we are definitely reaching out to all of our congressmen and our senators, and we're asking everybody in the community, especially if you have kids or if you suffer from seizures, please write them. If you don't know who to contact,
Yes.
let me and Tony or anybody in the association say,
Mhm.
hey, I want to contact them, but I'm not sure who to contact. We will tell you exactly who you need to contact.
Amen.
And the more people that contact them, that'll be helping to get more people to pay attention and say, okay, yes, we need to step in and do this because they need to pay attention to the citizens. They get paid our tax dollars to them. They are there to listen to us.
Yeah. The the way it should be,
Yes.
and the way y'all are making it be, because you definitely, Tony, and you have not kept quiet in getting in touch.
No, not at all. We've even been told we've been a little too loud at times. But we look
I
at
just,
it
yeah,
this
that's
way.
great though.
If you are very invested into something that you are truly, really there and you feel it in everything you've got and you know that this is the right thing to fight for, then yeah, we're not going to stop being quiet. We're going to be loud. We're going to shout from the rooftops. And even when everybody else telling us, oh, stop, stop. No, we don't know what stop is. We're going to keep giving it 110%.
That's what's needed,
Yes.
and I just think we do have a few people, well, that are volunteers at the association that don't even have kids with seizures. So if they can
Very true.
volunteer, then hopefully more should come, or at least give. And if they can't give time, give something else, like, I don't know, cups, or you get little things like you can ask for with the school, that they say, you give crayons or glue or stuff like that if you can't go to any
Yes.
of the of the little parties they have. Then, well, maybe people could give a donation, $1 here, $1 there, maybe a little more.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Every
or
little bit
just so you
helps.
everything, because yeah, having hot dogs can go a long way being sold.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And the next fundraiser, though, is the car show.
Yes. May 13th.
Hmm.
So we are
Um,
looking, we're very excited about that one. Um, we've got the Kids Corner. Kids Corner is going to be full of games for the kids to participate, chances of winning little prizes. I've got a couple ladies who are going to come out and do face painting for the kids. So they'll have their little sign up and they'll have probably about 8 different designs and they're all related to epilepsy. So we're looking forward to that. We're going to have some fabulous cars out there. Wayne West has a great car show club that he's involved in. So we got a lot of those cars coming out. Um, we even got notified there's going to be a race car out there. So the kids are going to be excited when they see that race car. And hopefully we can get them to fire it up and get the kids a little something to hold their ears and get a
mhm.
little excited about it. Um, we got a fabulous cook that's gonna be there, so you can buy you a hot dog plate for $5. That's 2 hot dogs, a bag of chips, and a drink. Hey, where else you go get 2 hot dogs, a bag of chips, and a drink for $5? So, hey, a little bit for everybody. We're gonna have a DJs, yeah, and we got a potato sack race. Would love to get some of the adults who would like to race some of the kids, make it a little interesting. Yeah.
That
We
will.
got quite a few things going on. So make sure that you come on out, check it out. There's something for everybody. And if you got a car, doesn't have to be anything fancy. If you just say, hey, I want to support y'all, pay $20 and we'll put your car in the show and the kids actually get to vote on the cars and stuff and there will be trophies given out.
And yeah, again, the association puts a lot of their, again, time, effort, and actually a lot of money. of our own, of their
Yes.
own, that's why we have these
Oh, yes.
fundraisers. Yeah, but hoping it comes out even.
Right.
Definitely hope it comes out to be worth more. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Um, but yeah, we got that going on. So yeah, come on out, enjoy yourself, have a good time.
Yeah. That, that's would be wonderful.
And if you
So,
can't make it out to the car show, we have monthly meetings. So make sure that you check out what
mhm.
county you're in, because there's meetings in pretty much all the counties. Just check them out and see when they are, and y'all come on out. And what we say is, you don't even have to have epilepsy. We had a gentleman who did one of our seizure first aid trainings who was 101 years old. He didn't have seizures, but he just wanted to know what to do in case he had seen somebody who was having one. And to me, if a 101-year-old man can learn something new, the rest of us should be able to follow in his footsteps and learn too.
uh, exactly, exactly. Thank you for telling about, him learning the first aid. So maybe
Oh, yes.
now get some little Girl Scouts or the Cub Scouts, get that into the program. I know they have to learn first aid, but
Oh,
some
yes.
things is not included. So
Exactly. And we're
maybe work on
noticing
that next.
exactly. My son Jesse, he has a girlfriend named Diamond, and she is really great because she's a senior this year. So she wrote a 5-page paper all about epilepsy. And she only did it because she wanted to learn as much as she could in case that she was ever with Jesse and he had a seizure. She wanted to know what to do. So she did all this research, wrote this big old thing, paper for her school and all. And she has a senior project that she has to do. And she's actually going to see if she could do something with the association as her senior project.
Oh, that is so great of Diamond to do that. And you tell
Yes,
her thank you for me,
absolutely.
for me too, that she would want to do that. And well, and Jesse too now being able to be more outgoing
Yes.
than when I met him.
Oh,
And
he was very shy back then.
I mean, I
He's
knew I could understand the nod, like,
yes.
yeah, and the
Oh,
little
yeah.
look, but yeah, the other people they need to know about things like that too. So
A
yeah.
lot of people, not only does Jesse have epilepsy, but he's autistic. So a lot of people is like, he's just stuck up and don't want to talk to you. No, he doesn't make the eye
Mm.
contact and stuff. So a lot of times, if he doesn't really know you or he's just met you, you'll get the full head nod or the, you know, half a little grin type thing. And it's like, okay, that's his way of acknowledging you that he understood you was talking to him. He just still struggles with his social skills. So that kind of sometimes that carries little barriers for him. But being with the association is the several years that he's been involved, he really has opened up and just turned into a great kid.
He
When he was voted in as Mr. Epilepsy, that right there broke that shell for him. He started talking to more people. He's, oh yeah, I was crowned Mr. Epilepsy. And it was like, he's finally taking pride in something. I'm like, yes, go kid, go, be
oh
proud of that. I could see him stand a little taller and that head was up because
wow.
at that time when he got crowned as Mr. Epilepsy, he was getting bullied a lot in school. He tried to play sports, but they wouldn't allow him because they told him he was too much of a health risk.
Mm,
Constantly was having issues because certain classes they didn't want him being in because, well, I don't have all the time to dedicate it to him to make sure he's going to be safe. Okay, well, here's the thing. He has the exact same rights as any of the other kids sitting in class. So you can't treat him any differently. And you can't go and try to put enough pressure, I guess you could say, or stress on him to where he caved and says, okay, I'll switch this class out for another class. So I
mm,
was one of those that had to stand back and go, No, 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 no. He's gonna stay in his class and he's gonna get the same rights as everybody else.
There
So
you go.
yeah. So I had a lot of fighting for him, a lot of fighting, but you know, he's in his first year of college and he is absolutely loving every minute of it. He told me that, no matter how hard high school was, that college kind of just blew it right out of the water. He said he didn't care. He went from a kid who tried to play sports throughout high school, nobody let him do anything, till his senior year. He finally really
Mhm.
opened up, came out of his shell. He went to his teacher and says, "Hey, coach, I'm gonna do something crazy this year." Coach is grading papers and says, "Okay, what you gonna do, buddy?" And he goes, "I'm gonna play football for you." Coach said he just dropped his pen and just looked at him and says, "You're gonna play football for me." The kid went out, tried out for the football team, made it on the football team his senior year, knowing he had never even thrown a football in a real football game or anything. Went out there, made the team. I had the privilege of watching him in quite a few of the games where he physically was put into the games. Watched him
Mhm.
get knocked around a little bit, but watched him pop right back up and knock them around a little bit. And he played wide receiver. And then when he got done with football, he actually ran track. And he actually went to states. And I think he took sixth place in state. So he went from a kid
Oh,
who did no
great.
exercising, that just sat around playing video games, to senior year, I'm going out for it. And I have to say that I think that's because I kept telling him, "Hey, high school's going to go by so fast, buddy. Don't be one of those where you're going to end up regretting it later on, going, I wish I would have done that." Try everything. Even if they tell you no, you tried anyway. And he did. And it really surprised him because when he made the football team, he looked at me and goes, "I didn't think I was going to make it." And I was like, "You're a lot better than you think you are." He's a quick learner. He just has to be given the chance. And unfortunately, a lot of people didn't give him that chance. But the ones who did, they enjoyed every minute of it they had with him. And they said they wish they would have had a couple more years with him like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I told you I'd be touched by that because I saw him not from real young age grow up, but through high school, and it's just
Hmm.
I just it's amazing. You just have to tell him how proud I am too,
Okay. I would definitely tell him that.
because of
Because when
knowing
I
him
tell
for
him,
that
he's
little
kind of like,
while.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's one of those, he doesn't realize when he does something really good, he doesn't realize, hey, that's a really good thing. I should be proud of. He's kind of like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, no, kid, this is something big. Be proud of it. Enjoy it. Soak it
Mhm.
up. When somebody tells you, hey, you did a great job, don't be like, yeah, okay. Be like, thank you very much. Take it with pride, because you don't get a lot of compliments in the world nowadays. People just don't have that kindness in them like they did back in the days when we were growing up. People were a lot more nicer back then.
Yeah, a lot different, but
A lot.
with yeah, hopefully everyone will now understand um, how much love and your big heart that you've got now. I mean, well, not you've really working hard on this, and it's if they'd only seen what you've done with Jesse, then they could do the same for their child. So thank
You too.
you.
You're very welcome. And I've enjoyed every minute of being his mother. And I tell him all the time, he's always teaching me something new.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I appreciate for you coming by tonight.
Oh, not a
And
problem.
could you have any other fundraisers in mind or
So we are
thoughts?
working on another fundraiser. It'll be taking place in Forsyth County. Diamonds High School has agreed to let us do a epilepsy walk event there using their track. So we are looking at setting that up in June. So as soon as we finish getting that all worked out, then I will definitely be able to tell you, and you can let everybody else, and keep an eye on Facebook, social medias,
Right.
because a lot of our groups were there. Check out the website. We try to post those things up. And, not only are we having the car event, I also want to mention that our little Miss Epilepsy is going to be crowned that day. So y'all can come
Okay.
out and watch her be crowned. On the website, we have all of our young ladies and my son's story from all of them who's been crowned
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Epilepsy. Go in there, read their stories, because these are great kids and they have a lot to teach us. And these are really takes a lot of strength to be these kids, because they get knocked down, they get broken bones, they end up in the hospital and having these things glued to their head. And to me, that just seems really unfair. I mean, you're trapped in a hospital up to weeks at a time, and you got all this glue in your hair and
Oh
all those
gosh.
things all wrapped up and all these wires running from the back. And I'm just like, wow, invade your space. you know, how, these kids
Mhm.
have a lot of strength. And no matter how many times they get knocked down, they show us just how strong they are. So they are definitely our little warriors, our purple warriors. That's what I call all of our people who suffer from seizures. Y'all are our purple warriors. Y'all are teaching us what strength and what it means to really be a fighter. So I appreciate y'all showing us what courage and strength really is.
Definitely. Definitely.
So y'all teach us enough, just as much as we teach y'all.
Yeah, we can say that.
Yes.
Well, I want everyone to remember it is May the 15th,
13th.
13th. I knew
Yes.
I was thinking
It's a
wrong.
Saturday.
The 9 to 2, yeah,
Mhm.
Saturday 9 to 2, and to come out, I mean, it's a big field. It's at Paul's Chapel, but it's
Yes.
got a big area for all the cars to be
There's
able to
going
show.
there's probably gonna be over 20 cars, and we have a bounce house. You got the DJ, you got the cook out there cooking. There's gonna be some really great smells. I believe we're gonna have some cotton candy and stuff like that, or popcorn. So yeah, it's gonna be nice. Very exciting.
Now that's great. So I will look forward to that.
Oh, I will be there. So y'all definitely come out and meet us. Take a look, see what we're about.
That sounds great. And um, make sure you put on your best smile and tell everybody when you get on the TV now that you're a star for us.
I'm only here because of y'all.
So, well, I'm going to say again, thank you, Amber.
You're very
And
welcome.
yeah, want to thank everyone else that's viewing. And sorry about the hang up there where I just froze, but I could freeze and talk at the same
There you go. At least when it froze you, you still had a great expression on your face. You see someone when they freeze and it's like, "Oh no." So it was not a
time.
bad one.
Yeah. So, well, yes, thank y'all again. And we will see you hopefully in 2 weeks. So, good
Absolutely.
night, everyone.